Well, we're joined now by Nadine Sanders, who is the editor-in-chief of International Voice. She joins us now from New York. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us, Nadine. Let me just start by asking you, first of all, what sort of a message do you think it sends out to the world that while intense diplomatic efforts are being made by one of Israel's very few international allies, namely the United States, the Knesset is entertaining this idea of annexing the occupied West Bank?
Thank you for having me. Actually, this delivered to the world very clearly that the U.S. is really meaning to have the peace in the Middle East. Now, when we hear Rubio talking about aggressive way against the plan of Israel voting to annexation of West Bank, that means this is a red line for the U.S. that Israel trying to break their efforts to maintain this peace in the Middle East. Now, Trump did a lot of things. Also Arab countries had a long run with Trump, with the U.S. administration to achieve this, to reach this point where we could have stages of multiple layers, how to get this peace, which is incredible. Now, when Israel trying to do this, that means they are breaking all the efforts every way. That will actually vanish all the dreams of having the peace. That's why you see this reaction from Marco Rubio, also J.D. Vance. Nobody support this annexation to happen at the time being in Palestine.
Yeah, exactly. The U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said annexing the West Bank is not going to happen, he said. President Trump said something quite similar as well. Do you interpret that as a sort of a warning to Israel?
It's not just a warning. It's a direct order. I don't think that the Israeli will dare to do this because that will, he said that's insulting. Rubio and J.D. Vance, he said he felt it insulting. That's mean, if you're talking about J.D. Vance talking this way, that's mean the President Trump will feel the same way, and that will break the relationship between Trump and Netanyahu. That's a major development in the Israeli-American affairs if they continue to do it. So when they say it's not going to happen, that's mean it's a warning that they're going to break all relationship with the U.S. if they did it. That's why they are pretty sure it's not going to happen.
And not just the U.S., because, of course, there are some Middle Eastern countries that would react extremely negatively to a move like that by Israel.
Yes, but the Middle East countries, they never care about the reaction of Middle East countries. Even though when the Abraham deals happen, still Israel doesn't care. You see the frustration of the U.S., of the Saudi Arabia Kingdom. You see the frustration of the UAE. And you see the frustration in Bahrain too. But Israel doesn't give an ear for that. Still going and going. The war continued for almost 2 years. 3 years now. It's the frustration of the Arab countries will put a pressure on the U.S. administration, on Trump administration, which could work, which is really could do something toward not only the annexation of the West Bank will be challenging, very much challenging. Actually, it would be destroying the deal, but also the plan that being discussed so far that could divide the West Bank to two parts. One part will be controlled by Israel. That's what the U.S. journal, one of the sites mentioned it very clearly in an article that will be divided by two parts. One part will be controlled by Israeli side to maintain the aid to flow into the Palestinian territory, to maintain the peace as well, and the other part will be maintained by Hamas. So that's very dangerous at this point to happen if that what Wall Street Journal say, because that will also be a big rock on this way to happen. It's very challenging what's happening now. We were assuming that the next stage after releasing the hostages and everything, the next stage after that will be very challenging. It will be full of many points that should be considered over and over from every side, and should be more negotiations between the Arab countries and the U.S. administration and the allies as well, because this is not one shot deal and that will happen. This is ongoing, fragile deal that should be maintained in every point. Tremendous pressure.
Okay.
We know that the Israeli side have the IPAC in the U.S. You see also Jared Kushner, his son-in-law for Mr. Trump. So this is a big influence on the American administration. So the Arab countries should practice the same influence or more with the negotiations, with the political ties to reach their point where we need the peace. We really need the peace. We don't need to go back to the mess or to worse scenario than we had before. Now, the fear between Arab countries about this deal of the peace, it was about what if after this deal, and what if after releasing the hostages, Israel went back again to Gaza, and now it's talking about the West Bank. If this is going to happen, that would be a big disappointment in the Middle East, and that will reflect on all over the world. So it's very critical at this time to everybody watch what he is doing, watch what he's announcing, and watch how he's dealing with the parts of the deal and with the U.S. administration.
Yeah, I mean, Nadine, this is probably why, isn't it? We've seen so much intense effort on the part of the Trump administration, not just President Trump himself, but his vice president, J.D. Vance, his envoys, Witkoff and Kushner. Marco Rubio is due to visit as well. I mean, they seem absolutely focused, don't they, on not letting this ceasefire deal collapse.
Yes, that's true. But also they are focusing on that. They don't want it to collapse. But also when they go to a critical point, like talking about dividing the West Bank, dividing Gaza to two parts, one of them will be controlled by Israel, even temporary. This could end up with forever thing. So this is very critical. Maybe they're doing that in a good intention. Maybe they're trying to keep this peace deal steady and firm, which is not for now. We see too many violations here and there, but also that the plans they are looking for, or the suggestion that they are doing, should be very careful and should be considered with the Arab countries, should be not be only considered with the Israeli part. So it's very critical to think every way, deal with everybody, and before announcing any plan or even consider it in a serious way.
Okay, I mean, just lastly, obviously the 20-point peace plan came into effect, phase one of it, earlier on this month. Now comes the dialogue for the second phase. I just want to ask you lastly, what major hurdles you anticipate at this second stage?
I think there is few points. Who's gonna be involved in maintaining the peace? We're talking about troops. Now, UK troops, some of the UK troops joined to the US troops, but it's in a minor amount, it's not in huge troops, but also there is consideration of Arab troops like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. So this is a point that we should, it's critical as well, because not everybody agreed for this. Everybody want to make sure that this is not going to be a new occupation of Gaza by other parties, not only Israeli parties. So this could be clear and arranged very well. Also, there is about the rebuilding. Who's going to invest in this rebuilding? Is also going to be Gulf money? Is it going to be only U.S. money, international aid? Who's going to be rebuilding this? Because nobody want to see Gaza turn out to a city that is not Palestinian anymore. But also we need to see the money flow in and build up this city. So it's the having all of this joined together to make sure that we have a beautiful Gaza city under a multi-control of multi-countries, which is clearly looking to have independent Gaza, not occupied Gaza in any way.
Okay, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. We've run out of time. Nadine Sanders, Editor-in-Chief of International Voice, thank you very much for your time.